Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.
What people were going to see is going to make their hair curl. What's been going on in front of their face and behind their back all their lives, while they thought a completely different story was unfolding.
I've taken a position very, very strong on First Amendment rights and tax rights. Don't tax the internet, don't interfere with it, which is a risky position because some people like to regulate the internet so none of the bad stuff gets out there. But I've taken a very pure civil libertarian point of view of not getting involved in the internet. And young people like freedom.
Of times, it was the worst of times. The fact that the British government is censoring prisonplanet.com, Infowars.com, truthnews.us, Infowars.net is a big victory for us. It shows that we're hurting them badly. When they carried out their attack with Mossad and CIA back on 7/7 in 2005 with the London bombings, when you typed London bombing or bombing into Google for at least a month straight, the number one thing under the term bombing or London bombing, the number one thing was prisonplanet.com links. Now, we have caught major internet companies in England, Australia, Germany, the United States blocking Infowars.com. If you will notice on most major cable modem systems in the U.S. now, if you type an address in wrong, it doesn't go to a blank screen on your computer. It'll be Time Warner Roadrunner, or it'll be Comcast Cable. And they're running everything through their systems. They don't need to tap anything. You go through them as a gate. Your computer is coupled first into their system. Now, I learned a decade ago, really, I guess I started Infowars.com 11 years ago, in 1997, so even then, public schools, Dell computers, many University of Texas systems, then we got calls and people mailed us the sheets where the university had screens saying that it was blocked. Municipal libraries, state libraries, university libraries. So this is one form of censorship. Also, we found out of the scores of internet filtration systems that people subscribe to and download, or in the old days you would mail off for a disk, that would have thousands of websites banned on it. And there's a family of these. There's porn, hacking, hate, and gambling. That's the four genres that people, oh, I don't want my children seeing this, I'm going to download this program, or I'm going to buy this disk and install it. And we all are included in hacking in many of those private systems. We are listed as a hacker website, nothing about hacking on our website. And we are also listed as a filtration system for hate. Now they've added a fifth to some of these filters. There's only one way they're censoring. There's many. They hit you from multiple sides, multi-headed hydra. Now they're adding piracy. Now, we're not on those lists, but it's kind of like the TSA list that has over 1 million Americans on it, or the criminal list that has over 8 million Americans on it, that people don't even have convictions that are on it. This is a control grid to track and trace and make us second-class citizens.
About how easy it is for the few to control the many. Because the many, you know, we laugh at sheep because sheep just follow the one in front. Oh, stupid sheep. We humans have out-sheep the sheep because at least these sheep need a sheepdog to keep them in line. Humans keep each other in line. And they do it by ridiculing or condemning anyone who commits the crime, because that's what it's become, of being different.
A lot of people are familiar with the more famous names that are connected to these secret societies, Henry Kissinger, David Rockefeller, etc., etc. But there are literally hundreds of top-level, very powerful people who are at the inner core of these secret societies.
and you have a hidden hand manipulating events, and the whole goal of it is centralization of power to the point where humans are little more than controlled clones.
Now, under Internet 2, one facet of that plan, there's multiple tracks running on that. Comcast, Time Warner, others are doing it right here in Texas. Comcast is doing it in New York. The two major companies have announced 2 weeks ago in Canada that they're going to decide what sites you visit, and they're only going to allow a couple thousand sites. It isn't just going to be Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. It is already just the vast majority of the Internet, and so your computer becomes a glorified cable system with only a few thousand websites that you can visit. Now, we told you years ago this was going to happen because we could read the minutes of the Internet 2 meetings they've had in London, that they've had in Tokyo, that they've had in Austin, Texas, they've had in Chicago, San Francisco. 3 years ago it was in Austin. And they always announce at the beginning, it's a consortium of private corporations, universities, and government, and DARPA, and other foreign governments, that, quote, the Internet is dead. And they say they're going to not fix the old hubs of the Internet. They're going to let those degrade. They say that's their right to do that. They also want the authorization by the federal government and the FCC. That Comcast just got told Friday that they have to stop doing what they're doing, filtering out the majority of the web, and they are saying they're going to disregard the FCC. They don't have that regulatory power. So the web was built to be free and open. You pay for it with your websites you pay for. The people that are serving you pay for it with their servers and their bandwidth. You pay for it with your Internet connection. We're getting more Internet connectivity. We're getting more bandwidth, not less. They try to have Ted Stevens come out and say, oh, the pie is small. It's not getting bigger. We have to restrict it. Now he's indicted for all his crimes, and there's no alleging those. So we need listeners to understand this is happening. This is coming down now. This has been declared. Even mainline alternative sites. You see, 60% down, 60+% down in newspaper readership. TV's plunging in ratings. The mainstream media is fully discredited. They're falling apart. They've got to do this, folks. They are coming. They're chopping up the web right now. You had better use PrisonPlanet.com while it's still available. You'd better tell your whole email list about the censorship. You'd better explain to them the different... We've got to create a war room on Prison Planet and InfoWars now, explaining the... Well, there's really more than 20 ways they're killing the web, but there's 6 or 7 main ways that have subsystems of doing it, so people can identify how they're being censored, how it's being choked, what's happening. But it's here. I mean, we've gone on the web. I checked the message boards, YouTube comments, Dig comments. We've gone from people saying we're making this up to people saying, okay, Alex Jones is right, but there's nothing we can do about it. We can do a lot about this, ladies and gentlemen. When Comcast and Time Warner and a few others, but they're together about half of the cable modem market. You can pull the numbers on that in the U.S. and Canada. When they're able to do that, that sets a precedent, and then all the other majors and then minors can implement that as well. You have to boycott and protest it and speak out against it early on. Now is the time.
Hey, buddy. You gonna pay for that or what? Look, buddy, I don't want no hassle today. Either pay for it or put it back.
Sleep. 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 Sleep.